that proves that everyone loves Betty White, even crocodiles. We saw Lake Placid, so you know what that means.
Schwarzenegger grow a baby in his belly, rock a rhinestone vest while ripping just into Kelley, or maybe see a burlesque show with Nick Crow and take a boat with speed to hitting cruise control. J-Man, Big Paul in the beautiful June, gonna take you from the goob all the way to the room. Ran the games of Street Fighter, helped to blow off steam, just a sucker punch the odd life of Timothy Green. Sharknado, the birdemic, how we staying alive. They call it in the badass and he's on the line, cranking 88 minutes cause they cool as ice, cause a bad Jim Varney looking kinda nice. Paul and June getting literal, Jason is getting laid. June is making sure all the monkey shots getting paid. They judge a bunch of movies while they're making the grade. Here's a real question for you, how did this get made?
Hello, people of Earth! And hello, people of Largo! We are live at Largo in Los Angeles. Very exciting. We are very excited to be here. For those of you that are not here, I just dropped a bunch of stickers backstage on the floor there. So there's a ton of stickers. My great sticker passing out hit a real snag. Basically, it's roadkill on the back. So if anyone didn't get a sticker, just right back there. There's a ton. And I couldn't pick them up as quickly as I wanted to. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very exciting show. Finally, a movie that shows that nature and man can't coexist. And we're going to discuss it, analyze it, and get to the bottom of it all. And I need to do that with one of my co-hosts, Jason Mantzoukas. Bring him out!
What's up, jerks?
How are you, Jason?
I'm good, Paul. How are you?
Very good.
How are you recovering from the great sticker debacle of 2015?
Well, look, it was touch and go. You know, I feel like I'm not here, but I am here. I have to be here.
You gotta get your head back in this game, bro.
When I dropped those stickers, the first thing I saw was that exit sign. And I was like,
you were like, that's it.
Gone. I'm gonna go right out the door.
Walk right out.
I cut those stickers up all fucking day. And then that happened. So there's a lot of wet blood fart stickers on the ground. A lot of stickers from Congo that says Amy thinks you're ugly on the ground. Now, sadly, June Diane Raphael cannot be here tonight. It's very sad. Yeah, more than that, right? Come on, yeah, give it her, yeah. There we go, thank you. Make her feel loved. She's off recording her own mini episodes about these movies now. We have in her steed, How Did This Get Made All-Star? A hilarious guy, actor, comedian, podcaster. Please welcome Paul F. Tompkins!
Hello, friends.
Welcome, Paul. Welcome, welcome. Paul, you have done the Lord's work. Obviously, this is a show that Jason, June, and I, we have to watch these movies all the time. You gladly jumped into June's spot and watched both of these movies.
That's right.
We're responsible for over 3.5 hours of your life kind of pissed away.
Look, I'm a grown man and I make my own choices, Paul. But if I may indulge me for just 1 second, the renting of these movies, because they were not streaming on Netflix.
Sure.
You could not find them on YouTube.
Sure. You can go to Blockbuster though, probably, right?
I did not. I can't find my card.
I went to Hollywood Video.
So I rented them on iTunes and then tried to play them on my television through my computer, and then that was a whole big thing. And my wife is sitting next to me as I'm.
Do you have an Apple TV, Paul?
I do.
Did you set it up for mirroring?
I did. No, it was all everything's supposed to work. It's just like watching that thing spin.
Oh yeah.
I'm getting very frustrated because every technology in my life takes 2 or 3 tries to happen.
Yeah.
I would love for it to happen right out of the gate. Never will, ever again, apparently. That's just the world that I live in now.
I identify with that as I sat on my living room floor last night with my laptop in my lap in front of my TV watching this because there's some issue with my TV and it was not working, and I'm like,
Welcome back to Tech
Motherfucker.
Talk with Paul, and Jason.
Well, here's where.
We're talking some of the kooky, crazy problems we're having with our tech.
But Jason, here's where it stops getting techie and starts getting real.
Oh!
Sparked-
Let's have a house meeting.
It sparked a classic. It sparked a classic mini argument with my wife.
Oh, no.
Which is like, I'm getting frustrated by a thing, and at first my wife has like sniffed a little bit at the idea that I had to pay money to rent these bullshit movies. Like, she's like, well, you had to rent them. Did you try Netflix? Like, yes, I tried Netflix. So then, like, as the thing is spinning, she's like, did you look on Amazon Instant Video? I'm like, yes, I did. And then, then while the thing is spinning,
You sound like an asshole.
oh, I'm the worst. I'm the worst.
I'm ready to come
I'm the
in
worst.
now and be like, oh no, thumbs down on you.
I'm filled with rage. And so, like, as the thing is spinning, I surreptitiously look on my laptop, like, oh, it is on Amazon Instant Video. And so I have to tell her, it is on Amazon Instant Video. And she goes, well, you could have saved money. I was like, you still have to pay to rent it.
So,
And then
how's Mary's
then
life?
I apologize. Then there's like 30 seconds, and then I start apologizing.
Babe, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I'm really sorry. You were right, and I was wrong.
My wife will make, while we're watching movies for this show, my wife is in this show,
But
we'll
it
make
would
deals.
be better if you don't mention who it is.
I read.
Yeah, preserve her anonymity.
She'll convince me, she's like, let's just watch 15 minutes of it, and then we can watch the rest of The Bachelor. And so then watching one of these movies is almost like a 4-night event, because we'll watch like 15 minutes at a time.
See, that sounds depressing to me.
It
Yeah,
really
it's
does.
not good.
I postponed, and then I watched both of these today.
Yeah.
Almost killed myself. And instead came here and talked to you good people about it. But it was misery. It was like Saturday, it was hot, and I was like, I feel gross.
I gave them each a day. I gave them each their own day.
Well, let's see if this gentleman, our special guest for the night, also had problems with technology. He is a fantastic actor. He has a brand new podcast on Wolf Pop called Reading Aloud. Please welcome Nate Corddry. Welcome, Nate.
Nate Corddry!
What up?
Very excited to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
So how was
time-
your technology issues?
Mine
Nate?
was flawless. I watched it at 2:30 on Amazon Instant Video.
Wow.
And I don't have a wife, so none of this jibber jabber in my ear. I was in my
I'm with you,
underwear.
man. Just dying alone. Watching terrible movies by my house, by myself, dying alone. We've got it figured out, Nate.
I specifically drove to Subway to get my favorite sandwich, and I ate it while I watched this turd of a movie.
So-
What a
Wait,
nightmare.
Your favorite
Can I?
sandwich?
Yes.
Yeah,
Can I ask?
please
Can
go
I
ahead.
ask?
Yeah.
Your favorite sandwich at Subway, or you're saying given a choice of
favorite-
anywhere?
Given all sandwiches, your favorite is at Subway.
We're only asking you this sarcastically because we know it should be at Jersey Mike's.
This episode of How Did This Get Made brought to you by
I'm
Jersey
more of a
Mike's.
Blimpie guy. I'm from the East Coast, so
Blimpie?
I like Blimpie.
Blimpie
Yeah.
always scared me.
What's the one? There's like a Fat Mike's or something. There's like Fat somebody. It's a new
Oh,
place.
that's Turtles from Entourage's sandwich
really?
shop. Yes.
Was it
Fat Sal's.
Fat
Fat
Sal?
Sal's.
Was it a thing that was on the show and then came into real life? Purple
No,
Rose
he
of Cairo
always,
style?
from what I understand, I know, yes. He was on the show Entourage.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Entourage.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Turtles
I'm sorry,
from
Paul.
Entourage.
I
No,
got it
that's what
confused.
I'm
I thought you were
talking about.
referencing his character from Think Like a Man. And no, it wasn't in that.
Also
Wait,
named Turtle.
That actor has changed his name to Turtle, correct?
To start off the talk about Lake Placid, I will say this. People always ask me, what is the sign, like, why do you know it's a bad movie? And there's certain things I always say when there's like a prolonged like surfing or skateboarding sequence, that's a sign. But the thing that is a dead giveaway for me of a bad movie is when the movie does not even reach 90 minutes.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
This movie,
83.
83 minutes, and I counted at the beginning, at the end, The movie doesn't start until about 2.5 minutes, and there's about 3 minutes of credits. So out of the 83, take away 5 more. So it's in the 70s of actual written produced material.
And still feels too long.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I'm shocked to find out that that's how long it was.
Still feels very long.
Absolutely. But you should be, if your movie is under 90 minutes, you should be ashamed.
Shame
Yes.
on you.
This is just a little bit longer than an episode of Scandal. And they make 24 of those fuckers a year, all right?
That's what $35 million gets you. It gets you 83 minutes of the worst movie I've ever
Do
seen.
you think that the problem, do you think they had a problem padding it out because the central issue in the action of the movie is that the thing is just in a lake and doesn't care to come out of the lake? That seems to be a flaw in the movie to me.
Also, there is nobody who is in danger except for some animals and the people that go to the lake to look for the crocodile.
Well, I wrote
Otherwise, it's existed for years and has done nothing.
I wrote that
This is a tourist attraction.
Yes.
This is essentially a horror movie for animals because if you, to think of it, more animals get killed than people.
Yes.
That's not appealing. Besides the fact...
I will say this, though. Some of the best performances of the movie were done by cows.
That cow, yeah.
Cows were great.
Yes.
Got some good laughs. This is what I thought, too. I was like, I think the worst monsters in this movie are the people, because they're fucking dicks. Everyone is a dick.
Can I ask this question?
Yeah.
Does anyone think they know who the hero of this movie is?
Right. Right.
Let's get into it.
I'm gonna go run out there and let's see. Let's do a quick sampling.
House lights.
Quick sampling. Here we
House
go.
lights.
Just say who the hero is.
Crocodile.
Okay.
Betty White.
Betty White. We got. No more hands. No more hands.
The fish and game guy, Bill Pullman.
Okay. Any more hands? Lake Placid. What do you say? Hector the Crocodile Whisperer. Who else?
Now we're just naming.
Bill Paxton.
Bill Paxton.
How dare you?
Can we fucking talk about this?
How dare
Stop
you?
pretending that it's confusing between Bill Pullman and Bill Paxton. It's not.
This is not a Dylan McDermott, Dermot Mulrooney situation.
Where you can see the face, but you can't remember which name goes.
This is very different.
Well, that was just a quick sampling, and that was everyone had a different answer.
Yeah.
The Bill Paxton one being the most surprising.
Here's what no one said. Bridget Fonda. She is definitely not the hero of this movie. She's just this like thing that I think we're supposed to despise as an audience because the other characters don't like her at all.
Now this is This is what is okay. What is her deal?
Oh, I think
It's just New York. Is that it?
She's from New York. She's a scientist.
And she's a loner as a child. The skipping rock scene.
Right.
Yeah.
But she's made out to be a real bitch. But it's only because she's from New York.
Yeah.
So she has also been jilted by Adam Arkin.
Adam
That's
Arkin.
Heartthrob of the century.
That's right.
Adam Arkin has broken her boring heart.
Playing the Bill Pullman role in this
Yes,
movie.
Exactly.
Adam Arkin.
Oh my God! No, he and Bill Pullman are out boring each other. They are both like flat. So Bill Pullman, his entire movie's delivery. He watches multiple people die.
Yes.
Everything. And the whole time he's like, I don't know. What are we gonna do?
Right.
Well, I would even go further to go.
I guess we should,
something about that crocodile.
We should get to bed.
The opening scene.
And all the way from that to I guess we should get to bed too. Shoot it. Quick, shoot it.
The most casual admonition to kill a monster in cinema history.
The opening.
It's coming.
Literally, the opening scene of the movie. The scuba diver, tagging turtles, which I don't understand why the sheriff has to accompany him to that. Anyway, I won't really get into that logic. But the man is bitten in half. The sheriff doesn't go like, there's no shot.
No
He's
emotion.
like, yeah, like you
Nothing.
would think like, you'd be like, oh my, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, or anything. And he's like, oh. Like, it's so muted. It's so
And
muted.
also,
It's like,
if you're a
oh yeah,
small
out of
town-
milk.
It's not even like he's jaded.
No.
He's like a small town sheriff. You know, it's not like, oh, big city cop,
Right.
like, nope, another half of a body that I've found. Zoinks.
He didn't even find it. He pulled it out himself.
Yes.
He pulled it out. No reaction.
And he not only no reaction, the guy grabbed his hand and like in order to look and make a human connection in his moment of death.
Yeah.
And Brendan Gleeson's like, eh.
Brendan Gleeson also uttered one of the greatest lines in film history with that diver before he was bitten in half, where they're sort of playful with each other, and the diver ribs him or something, and I wrote this down. This is Brendan Gleeson's response. This is a complete sentence. Everyone's a comedian, sarcastic.
Okay. I watched the movie with subtitles on.
Yeah.
And
That's
it
what-
was that
Me
was
too.
the line.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
The line
I
is,
thought I was having
except
a
there's
stroke.
a comma.
Yeah.
Everyone's a comedian, comma,
He
sarcastic.
did not perform that comma. Whether
He's
By
like
the way,
Christopher Walken.
I think
He's like Christopher
I
Walken.
think he's reading
He
the
goes through
stage.
and he takes all the
No,
I think he's
punches.
reading the stage directions.
Yeah.
He's supposed to say it sarcastically and go, everyone's a comedian.
I guarantee that's right.
But you know who wasn't reading the stage directions with Bill Pullman? Didn't read a single one.
Unless all of them were said like this. We gotta get out of here, whisper.
I will say this though. I believe after watching this, I think that
I'm so upset screaming.
I think that Brendan Gleeson is the only actor in this movie for whom this film is truly beneath. Like everybody else,
Yes.
I'm like, yeah, I could see you in this movie, sure. But Brendan Gleeson,
Ring,
you deserve
hello?
better than this, Brendan
Yeah, I
Gleeson.
agree, because he is a phenomenal actor.
Yes.
And it is tragic to watch him have to go
Yes.
through this.
It made me uncomfortable.
Versus,
hard.
I am fine with another actor that I really like, Oliver Platt, whose face
Sure.
we are awkwardly looking at on screen right now.
I'll turn it off.
I am fine with them being like, hey, do you want to come play a super weird version of Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park?
A more aggressive, unlikable version of Jeff
Yeah.
Goldblum.
We're going to make you somehow not sexier, but more sexually predatory
Yeah.
than Jeff Goldblum.
We kind of like Jeff
And-
Goldblum, but more rapey. Are you into
Yes.
that?
Yeah.
But you'll also be comedic relief, but you're also going to be like the sex symbol.
Yeah. The thing that bothers me most about this movie, and it's from the very beginning, is that this movie thinks that it's funny.
Right.
It
Yes.
thinks that it's
Right.
really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so fucking unfunny.
Yes.
It's like what the opening, like Brendan Gleeson, he doesn't like sarcasm, and then he's sitting in the boat, and then the guy's down there, being scared by a fish, and
And a beaver.
and a
And a turtle.
that's
That was a
right.
beaver.
The turtle was like, oh, what? Oh, turtle. Okay, go. Whoa, where'd that beaver go? But then, so Brendan Gleeson eats a Twinkie. Is that supposed to be funny that he's eating a Twinkie?
He eats
And he's-
2 Twinkies.
He's listening to the Partridge Family.
Oh, yeah.
Is that supposed to be funny? Like these things are all very pointed, but they don't go anywhere.
It seems like it's trying to make a comment.
Yes.
But it not.
It
but they don't know what they're
completely-
trying
Yeah.
to.
It's
Yeah.
like
Guys, this
cabin
is-
fever-esque, like trying to sort of deconstruct that medium a little bit, but David E. Kelley misses on every single
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
just going to say, this is where we should mention this movie's written by David E. Kelley.
David
Yeah.
E. Kelley.
At the height of being David E. Kelley,
Oh, yeah.
too.
Like,
yeah.
right
Like-
after Ally McBeal.
Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like he pumped out an Ally McBeal script. They're like, hey, we want you to write a movie. Sure.
Sure.
Blah, 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 blah. And there's another one. Hey, it's only 50 pages.
Do you think...
Go.
You know that he writes all, I worked on a show that he wrote, and he writes all his scripts longhand.
No!
On yellow legal
Yeah, of course,
paper.
on yellow legal
Yeah,
paper.
yeah.
That's what they all do. Then they hand it off to some fucking poor assistant.
Yep.
Like, yeah, type this up.
Yep.
You gotta sort through their fucking chicken scratch of genius. Like, at least, like, put it right on an Underwood typewriter so somebody can scan the pages. Oh, I hate that bullshit. Nobody ever wrote out scripts longhand.
No.
Like, since the invention of scripts. Like, maybe Shakespeare, but since modern film and television, no one's writing scripts out in longhand.
I think he thinks he's a charming eccentric.
Of
but
course he does.
Yeah, he's the opposite.
Well, but that's what this movie kind of reeks of. It's like, yeah, I'm above that. I know what this is,
Right.
and I'm, like it feels like.
There's a lot of see what I did there.
Oh, I imagine him like typing a thing, like, oh, not typing, of course, but at breakfast, he like scratches out something on his legal pad, then like turns it around for Michelle Pfeiffer to read, like, check it out.
And then she's like, I wish I could go back to Fisher Stevens. It's a real ex-boyfriend of hers. Look it up.
One of our researchers, Nate, just showed me his IMDb bio, which he believes David E. Kelley wrote, because this is what it says. David Kelley might be described as living the American dream. 1990s style. Write a screenplay, move to Hollywood, make millions, and marry a movie star. And then it's like, former Boston lawyer. In the last decade, he switched careers to become a successful television producer whose shows are recognized for their quality as well as their ratings. But the American dream.
The American dream. Well, 1990 style.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Remember when Bill Clinton would give speeches and say, I hope that everyone will write screenplays. I want every American to stop being
being a lawyer.
Become a successful television producer.
Get them shows, get a dancing baby.
Yeah, that's hilarious, right? That's how funny that guy is.
The one thing that this movie brought to me too is just talking about the people in it. I love Bridget Fonda, like as a person. I was like,
you love her as a person?
Not as a person.
You are, you were married.
No, I love her as a person. But she's an actress that I feel like for a while was in everything and very good in everything, or at least as I remember it to be, and then just stopped. And then I Googled like what happened to Bridget Fonda, and everyone is asking the same question. No one knows. She came out to stump for Obama, but that was about it. No one has seen her to know what she's doing.
I think she might have. I know she married Danny Elfman.
From Oingo Boingo.
And then I think she had a child and sort of abandoned the industry.
How could she?
How could you when there's things like Lake Placid that could be happening
You're telling
to her?
me that this person we really love and are going to spend the rest of this time taking this movie piece by piece apart doesn't want to be part of making these movies anymore? What?
To do what? Love a child?
Boo, Hollywood is really messed up. The one thing, I couldn't, and because of this movie, like written in that tone of, is it a joke or is it not? Like when everyone's like, is it a bear? Is it a bear? I'm like, well, wait. Or do they really think it's a bear?
Right.
Because that's asinine.
Like,
Like,
they think it's a swimming
It's
bear.
what, an underwater bear that bit a man in half?
right. And like, there was an eye fucking witness. It wasn't like they found a body on the shore and they go, which by the way is a better opening.
Even if you're not like prehistoric crocodile, you're also not like bear. You know what I mean? Like, you know something's up.
Yeah. Aquatic. Something aquatic.
Yeah, something that lives in
Something
water.
water-based.
Yes.
A bear. One of those water bears.
One of them water bears.
Maybe the bear got lost.
Polar bear?
They go in water.
Polar bear in the lake, everybody. That's a really good point. I think Jason, you brought it up, or Paul, you brought up the fact that it doesn't affect anything. No one goes to this lake.
Yeah.
No one's affected by this. It seems like this is a peaceful creature.
Well, that's the thing. We find out that Betty White, midway into the movie, has been feeding and raising these crocodiles
For years.
For years and years and years. And up until now, the only people that have been killed are her husband and the turtle tagger.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, why all of a sudden did this crocodile get a thirst for human
Only because
blood?
humans apparently, once Turtle Tagger gets killed, cannot get to this lake fast enough to be eaten. Everybody's like, I gotta get to that Lake Placid in New York? No. In Maine.
In Maine, yeah.
Lake Placid is a place.
Yes.
In New York.
That's right.
This movie is not Lake Placid, New York. It is a movie called Lake Placid that's set in Maine. Go fuck yourself.
Because
maybe something is lost in the longhand in the translation, because it's like, why not just go back and go, yeah, let's put it at Lake Placid, or let's not call it Lake Placid. Like, they make a thing out of it, like, we're gonna call it Lake Placid, but there's another one.
Because it's too clever a title to not use, Paul. That lake was anything but placid. There was a giant prehistoric crocodile in there.
And this movie, like, look, whatever movie you see out there, for even as dumb as Sharknado is, there is at least...
dumb is it? Sorry.
There is at least the smallest reasoning of what is going on. And I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying it's worthy. But at least someone gave a shit to be like, well, this is my theory on what has happened.
We feel obligated to say,
yes,
a thing caused this to happen.
Here, nope.
Our movie will be 90 minutes long.
And we're not going to give you any, man, you put it together yourself. It was here all along? I don't know. Got lost?
No, Betty White tells us it followed her husband home once.
From
fishing.
But that was like from fishing in the lake?
No, in the ocean, I think.
Yeah, in
ancient, I thought he was fishing in the lake.
Maybe, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Followed him home, didn't want to kill him, just kind of like the boat.
Well, what's weird is when Betty White feeds the crocodile a cow or whatever.
Where's she getting all these cows?
It's really expensive.
What's weird is she has a farm
yes.
on a lake. You can't have a fucking farm on a lake in the middle of nowhere in Maine.
What's weird is when she's leading the cow to the thing, the crocodile just sits in the water like this.
Just waiting.
Just like patiently waiting at the table.
Betty.
Like those YouTube videos of the dogs where they stick the treat on the nose.
And then she's like, she says, whatever, time to eat or whatever, and it's like, Ralph. And it just like munches down that fucking cow.
But it seems to me that she's feeding the cows at an alarming rate. So she's either raising cows in a very sped up genetic system that we have not seen, she's getting a better movie, 100%.
Much better movie.
Or she's getting
Betty White, cow cloner.
What's it to you, fuckface?
Yeah. No, she's, I think, fuck shit.
Fuck shit.
Yeah.
There's another line. I wrote down a line, too, that was also very weird, which Brendan Gleeson has, which is...
I have one as well.
He says to Oliver Platt, he says, I think you are mental.
Yes!
Yeah! The whole movie!
I think you are mental.
I rewound it 3 times.
And he says it later in the movie.
He says it multiple times.
I think he's a total mental, he says to someone, or something like that. But I believe you are mental.
Mental.
And nobody was like, everybody was like, did we get that? Oh yeah, we got it. Nobody was like, you sure you want him to say that
Again, maybe a lost in translation between long form and the script.
Well, here's what wasn't. Here's a line that, thank God, made it from that yellow page to the screen. Bill Pullman and Bridget Fonda, they're meeting cute in the town square.
Jesus.
They are meeting boring.
After an exchange with that weird girl that comes up and says, I hear there's a monster in the lake.
Oh.
And then they say, no, it's not a monster. Then she says nothing.
What?
She just looks at them and walks off in the strangest way.
Sexual,
right?
like yes.
I think it was supposed to be
It's
sexual,
to
but she
waggle
looked like
her butt.
a weird marionette.
But it's also that
she's also a Stan Winston creation. That girl.
Also that Brendan Gleeson can be like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's very erotic.
He's like it's like a weird Lenny and Squiggy moment for him. And
But again,
even Bill Pullman looked. Bill Pullman is calling her ma'am, Bridget Fonda.
Right.
And then at one point she says, If you call me ma'am one more time, I'll sue you. And with today's laws, it's possible. Fuck you and your fake Howard Hawks screwball bullshit.
Written-
What are you, Aaron Sorkin with this nonsense?
Written
Exactly.
by a lawyer.
By an
Written
attorney.
by a
lawyer.
And that whole sequence is trying so hard to be screwball because she's carrying a can of Raid to kill mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Now, again, you could use, there's plenty of insect repellent. She's using Raid is cockroach repellent.
Not a thing you're supposed to just spray in the air.
Intermittently. Like that joke would have worked just as fine with like Off.
Yeah.
Any other fine
Something
quality
with
product.
deep in it.
I was gonna say, do you think that it was like an E.T. Reese's Pieces situation where Off was like, we don't want our product in your movie. They're like, no sweat, we're gonna go to Raid.
Fuck you, Off. Fuck you. And the Citronella people couldn't get in the door. Please, we'll give you all the candles you want.
What if she had
Fuck you.
Can I want to
Colors now.
I want to just play just to talk about like weird.
Do you say Reese's Pieces? Sorry.
Not on purpose, but that's how it comes out.
I say it Reese's Pieces.
It's
as
very
well.
hard
It's
not
only
to
been
say.
brought to my attention recently that it's Reese's Pieces.
Yeah.
Are you being
I do the
serious?
I'm being
thing.
dead serious.
I
Yeah,
wonder
I
if
do the
that's
same
an
thing.
East Coast thing.
I think. Wait, what do you say, Courtney?
I say
Reese's
the same
Pieces?
thing. Yeah,
Reese's
Pieces.
Pieces?
Yeah.
Hi.
Reese's Pieces, man.
Reese's Pieces. It makes no sense, but it's right.
Yes.
It's Pieces.
It's a bag full
What's
of
a
pieces.
Pieces?
They are pieces of Reese's.
Little chocolate pieces.
Reese's Pieces.
Reese's Pieces. Come on. Show of hands. Who says Reese's Pieces?
And you're wait, no.
Wait. House lights. Can I have house lights for 1 second?
It's not a lot of hands.
Who
Not a
says
lot of hands.
Reese's Pieces? Wow,
How
that's
many
far
people for
fewer than I
Reese's
thought.
Pieces?
Reese's Pieces?
And to your logic, to both of your logics, it should be Reese's Pieces. Because at least it's that. Like he wouldn't be.
I understand what you're saying, and the logic of it adds up.
Yeah.
They're called Reese's Pieces.
Yeah.
Yes.
You're right and you're wrong. You're right and you're wrong.
You couldn't be more right and more wrong at the same
I
time.
hear you. I want to just show you a weird thing that Brendan Gleeson says in this scene. They're traveling upriver where they're going to be camping. This is when they reveal they're going to be camping. And they're camping for 2 days. But then when they arrive upriver, all the trucks are there, and a lot of people just drove. And it seems like, why did you have to camp? It seems like a very accessible spot where
We
you
could commute here.
Yeah.
And also, why did they have to go up in boats?
That's
Don't
what I'm
they go
saying.
up in boats?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, why go in boats when it's easily accessible by car?
Right.
And you can probably stay at a hotel if it's that accessible by car.
And they camped like it was like a beach party.
That
Like
camp-
the camp was set up like a real fucking party town.
Yeah. But they
It
look
felt
at,
like a nudist colony.
somebody looks at Bridget Fonda weirdly because she has a suitcase.
Yes.
And they're like, ooh. It's like, well, yeah, what are you going to put your clothes in?
Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't know
fucking-
she was camping.
Oliver
It's not like she had
Platt.
hat boxes and shit. She just had one rolling bag. That's perfectly normal.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, Oliver Platt's tent has a full desk with novels across it.
Yes.
Dresser drawer. He's got a fucking better apartment than I lived in New York City for 5 years.
And apparently wireless internet. How are they watching those fucking
yeah.
videos? It's 1999. Like that's a physical impossibility.
Take a listen to Brendan Gleeson's response. Well, I'll point it out. I don't know. I didn't notice it until it was shown
It's
to me.
Breesy Gleeson.
We're staying in tents?
So
Tent?
this is. All right, so it may take a second here, but here we go.
Tents? We're staying in tents?
I told you, 2 days we'd have to camp.
Yes, camp. But I thought that meant Ramada Inn. I never heard tents.
God.
Will there be toilets?
Maybe we should just take you back.
Why? Because I prefer a toilet?
Oh, God, we forgot to pack the feminine napkins.
That was the moment that I wanted. Oh God, we forgot to pack feminine napkins.
And I feel like perhaps that line was written to be sarcastic on his part, to be like teasing her.
Right.
But he delivered it like he's very upset. That in fact, they have forgotten to pack maxi pads.
Yeah.
But even
failed them.
He's like, oh, are you menstruating?
But by the way, even as sarcastic, that's still like a valid concern. Like, you know, it's like it should be like, oh,
wait, why
well,
do
we don't have sushi for you. Or
Why do we have to? People can be responsible for their own hygienic equipment.
Let's say if you do go to a hotel,
Yeah.
you're not like, where's all the feminine napkins?
I don't think a lot of women are like, well, my period's here.
What are you gonna
Who's
do
gonna
about
give
it?
me? Who's
Matt,
giving me something to sop this up with?
may I have the concierge, please?
This is
may I have
like,
the concierge? Can you please send some
Ring,
feminine
ring.
napkins?
My Aunt Flo is here. It's a disaster. Can you send up a roll of paper towels and some string? I don't know.
By the way,
I am single.
And again, feminine napkins.
Yeah, I know.
Why not just say tampons, right? Like, that would be an
Paul, please.
Paul, let's be classy.
But this movie,
Don't be crass.
this movie hates women.
Oh, yeah.
The only
Yes.
female characters are Bridget Fonda, who's just an object of disgust, right?
I feel like the direction given to her for the whole movie was like, whatever your line is, what you want to be saying is, wah.
Yeah.
Except for the part when her and Bill Pullman are having this like romantic scene after someone's head gets lobbed off, and Bill Pullman is not really fazed by that, and they're in this
God,
tent.
what's
He's
happened?
like, "You like it here, don't you? You like this?" It's like, "Yeah, I do. It's the most exciting part of my life." It's like, oh, weird, the weird moment.
But she decided that just at that moment. Like up to that point, she's like, "This is the worst.
Yeah.
I don't want to be here." Also, I'm not contributing in any way. Why am I here?
She's she like works in a museum. That's all she does. Like,
Yes.
They want her to come look at the tooth
Adam
they
Arkin,
found.
that scoundrel, wants her to look at the tooth.
He's a real rake. And he's like, listen, I'm plowing Mariska Hargitay
Yes.
who was also an awful person
Awful.
in this movie.
Yeah.
now. She comes in to be like, I'm sorry.
she's a
about-
woman.
I'm sorry about you and Adam Arkin. And she's like, you know? And she's like, yeah, I did it. I'm fucking him. We were fucking before you, and now we're still fucking. The heart wants what it wants. SVU's gonna be on forever. When this movie was made, SVU was in season 7. No, that's not true. You dummies are so gullible.
But the other female character in this, besides Betty White, is the deputy,
The deputy.
whatever, who
Deputy Tits.
Meredith Salinger, who we see her when Oliver Platt is saying, "Hey, you got great tits," and she's like, "Haha, great. This is appropriate. I'm a fucking police person."
And then when Brendan Gleeson's like, you gotta get out of here. This isn't a party. She and Oliver Platt are holding hands, and he says, can she stay? We would like to mate. And she looks like, yeah, I'm on board.
And then
I'm throwing away all of whatever responsibilities I do have in this weird place because I just want to fuck this weirdo.
and then
So I know we have a situation with a monster that's killing people.
But I am super turned on by puka beads.
Yeah.
And
And the direct approach.
He's dripping in them.
Yeah.
And then we don't see the logic jump where she abandons her position as a police officer, even though she's still wearing the uniform, to fly his helicopter or fly with him in his helicopter to an undisclosed location to go find.
I think they were part of a team. They were teamed up to go and look within the. I don't think she abandoned anything.
Oh, you think that was a sign? Because I thought they yelled at her for going, "What the fuck did you do? Why did you run off with him?"
Didn't they make a decision? These people were going to go here. These people were going to go here. No, maybe not.
I don't think so.
I don't.
I don't know.
And then she offered to
I
have
anyone know?
believe in her being good at her job. I really want her to not have abandoned her post.
Yeah, you're right. These women are really, every one of them is despicable.
They are like Bella level pointless. Bella from Twilight.
Yeah, and you could argue that Bill Pullman's kind of pointless too. If you were to,
Totally!
If you were to like find like his journey, what's his journey? He starts off checking out a murder, and at the end, he just gives the order to somebody else to kill it.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's it.
And he works for animal control?
Yeah.
Is that what he does?
Yeah.
Fish and game, I believe.
Yeah, fish.
Let's actually. I don't know if that would be interesting to do. But like, just see like the characters' journeys. Like all the characters, they don't go really anywhere. No one does anything.
None of them have any kind of. They are all various levels of either law enforcement or like research, scientific researchers almost.
Yeah.
You know, none of them have any kind of personal interest in anything. You know, in anything related to the crocodile. I mean,
No one's fazed by.
it's not like Bridget Fonda is like, this is the beast I have spent my
Right.
life
There's no
conjecturing
stakes.
exists.
Right.
This is proof that this thing that I've been blah, blah, blah. No, there's none of it. They're like, they found a tooth in this thing, and she's like, this is a reptile tooth. And she's like, I guess I'll tag along until this guy decides to blast me.
But, like you're not. So you see this gigantic fucking tooth that's new. You've
Yeah,
identified it
brand
as
new.
this is not a fossil. This is new.
Yep.
You're not a little bit interested.
She's not like, ring, ring, ring. Hey, fuckface Adam Arkin. I just fucking found the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Go eat a dick. No. She's like, oh, what am I doing
But
here?
this is all stuff like who was like, and not that I'm a proponent for studio notes, but this is a moment where a studio could be like, okay, guys, here we go. Why don't we just make Oliver Platt be chasing this creature for his entire life? And they finally,
Right.
He's a Captain
Yeah.
Hook.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
He's Captain Hook, and this is the crocodile.
Yeah, well, why not do that?
Instead of a guy who's interested in crocodiles in general.
Yeah.
And I heard you may have a crocodile here.
And
Do you
let's-
mind?
And the
if I
presumption,
check it out?
our presumption is, what we are led to believe is that Oliver Platt's a millionaire
He's like Richard Branson who chases
adventurer.
crocodiles.
Right,
Yeah.
he just is an adventurer, but what he wants to do is swim with crocodiles.
So they can judge him.
That's because they are godlike.
Yeah, because he wants to be judged by crocodiles. That's fucking
That
dumb.
makes no
Get in line,
sense.
Oliver Platt.
and then Bridget, they're set up that Bridget Fonda and Oliver Platt know each other, and he's like, yeah, we fucked. And she's like, no, we didn't. And he's like, well, they never remember. Which leads you to go, well, did they? And then, and the fact that they kind of dilute that moment also goes, why not make them always together? Like, oh yeah, they've had these run-ins in the past, and this is a combative relationship because she's the researcher and he's the whatever. Nope. No.
Everyone is equally distanced from each other. They all treat what is going on as a severe inconvenience more than anything.
And they never bond. You know, like in Jaws, they all come to Dreyfus, Shaw, what's his tits? They all come together and they like bond and they get to be on the same team and they get to respect each other, whatever. All these guys are like, they never figure that out. They always don't like each other.
Yeah.
They always don't care, and they always. What could be more fun than going to the movies to watch a bunch of people who don't want to be there battle a giant fucking crocodile? Snooze.
And a giant crocodile who's not bothering anyone.
Yep.
Who is not actively attacking, only when provoked.
Just a turtle dude.
And then with Bridget Fonda, they set this whole thing. I hate nature. I hate the outdoors. Why? Were your parents killed by crocodiles? No. We never know.
I'm
never
just
know.
a fucking bitch. I'm a woman, and I'm worthy of your hate and derision.
Because of my period.
Yeah. I hope you remember to pack the feminine napkins.
Why? When it happens, when my moon cycle arrives, somebody will have prepared for me, right? Otherwise, I'm gonna ruin these white chinos.
When I watched the end of this movie, I literally said out loud, I was like, that's it? Because the movie ends so unclimactic. Like I was like, oh well, this is like now they're gonna capture it and they'll be now we'll see.
The fucking reveal of the second crocodile made me so mad.
Yeah.
Made me so mad. Where it's like, oh, where'd that guy come from? Oh, there was two of them. And then like jokes about like, yeah, I can count. I noticed that there was another one. That's not making this moment better. You can't just do that.
And by the way, Brendan Gleeson has this gun in the beginning. He's like, oh yeah, by the way, if I shoot this guy with this gun, I'll kill it. And And they go, all right. And then at the end, he goes, yeah. He shoots it. Totally fine. Like not that crocodile was not an issue.
Nope.
Hey. Okay, gun. Now what do we got? What do we got next?
This gun is as good as its word.
It's so dumb. It's so dumb.
They also did a thing with Bridget Fonda where they basically they gave her like Ally McBeal level clumsiness.
Yes.
Where she was
always
constantly
fall.
getting
She
flinged out
fell
of
off.
boats.
She fell off of so many things.
So many things. Yes.
The woman can't
Fell
stay on her
off of
feet.
A boat, a canoe, a helicopter, and was oftentimes launched out of
Yes.
them.
Yeah.
And again, no one responded to her being thrown
No.
60 feet in the air from that fucking canoe. I believe.
What's that awful non-man up to now?
She's searching for tampons somewhere, the bottom of that lake.
Oh man.
But I do appreciate Bill Pullman's. After watching that clip, he is apathetic from go. There isn't but he's completely commits to it. It's not like there's one moment where he kind of emotes. Like I appreciate that Bridget Fonda like cries and weeps when she sees someone get their head eaten by an alligator, and yet
Crocodile.
so sorry. Bill Pullman.
That's like basically racist. I get it. They all look the same to you, Nate.
I've been there, bro. We need to build a wall between all the lakes and the United States. You can't let these crocodiles and alligators in.
Not in my America.
Nate, what were you saying?
I just appreciate that Pullman like kept with his apathy the entire time. There wasn't one. He didn't like. All right, this is the last scene. I'm in the truck. I should really like emote my love for this girl and move my knapsack, and maybe the audience will have like a fucking feeling about the two of us getting together, as opposed to just like, what the fuck is this?
You really feel
She was like, I forget what the fucking exact line was. Some bullshit line.
A beer or something like that?
Yeah, let's grab a beer at a bar in Maine.
She goes, what's the matter? In Maine, you can't make a move. In Maine people don't make a move or something.
Right.
Yeah. Something about his basically at the end of the movie, she's like, so what's your deal? You're a pussy?
Yeah.
So just to be clear,
you didn't.
Vis-a-vis what's going on between us, I'm like soaking wet and you're a pussy? Okay, cool, bye.
Yeah, you didn't manage to ask me out in this 24-hour period where a few of our friends are murdered.
I wonder, was this written before or after David E. Kelley got with Michelle Pfeiffer? I really wanted to be while they were dating. And it was just like David E. Kelley getting out his hurt feelings, basically, about all women.
Oh, can we talk about the bear attack?
Yes.
The bear attack.
Yeah.
So, one of the lame scares is that this bear bursts out of the woods.
Like the bear charges them.
The bear. Well, this bear. He must have started running so far away because he's got this head of steam going where he can't turn around at all. And so everybody's just like, whoa, that bear. It's like they sidestep this bear and then the bear
that's exactly what they do. They basically are like, uh-oh.
Yeah. The bear runs past all of them, then like skids, slams on the brakes, turns around, and it's like, now, here we go. It's bear time.
Stands up on its hind legs and it's like, at which point
you made me so mad by dodging me. You're gonna pay.
Maybe the original script was like an animated movie where you could actually buy a bear kind of running like that, but no. It's
but then the
very real.
crocodile jumps out of the lake and eats the bear.
And by the way, so this is my thought on that. Then that makes the crocodile good. Crocodile saved them from a bear attack.
So what are we supposed to feel?
Be like, yeah, you know what? This guy is good. Get the fuck out of here.
You could read this movie as the crocodile is the too strong for its own good son of Betty White, who everybody thinks is a monster, but is actually a hero. But it's a Frankenstein story.
You know what?
The townspeople are like, get the monster!
Right.
And they don't see that the monster keeps saving them. And it's only because they provoke it that it attacks them. Mm-hmm. Anyway, that's my story.
I think we
as I got
I think we could see this crocodile as almost a Boo Radley figure.
Total Boo Radley.
In this sleepy town.
Yep.
Well, hopefully, like To Kill a Mockingbird, in 50 years, there'll be a sequel to it.
Yep.
I also
After
love
David E. Kelley's death, his publisher will be like, well, there is a sequel to Lake Placid.
Really quickly, when Oliver Platt is saying we got to capture this thing, and they're like, no, we're gonna kill it. And he's like, no, please listen to me. And he says, first he says, I know that in Africa they have like trapped ones that are over 20 feet long. And this one's 30 feet. So why is this insane, right?
Yep.
Like if there are already a bunch of crocodiles roughly this size, this shouldn't be that strange an occurrence. But then he says, like as he's trying to talk them into capturing it, I know of an empty oil tank in Portland.
Wow.
What?
I have no memory.
Why would you
I don't remember
know
that
of
either.
that?
That's amazing.
I have no memory of
Where
that.
would you be? What grapevine is this filtering through? Like, hey, did you hear? Did you hear?
What do you got?
Hey, you know oil tanks?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, empty or full?
I'm getting to it. What would...
I got an oil tank guy. He always gives me all the inside scoop. I got an app on my phone. You can check out where I'm near empty or full oil
But
tanks.
the nearest enclosure they could find would be to go to Portland.
Across the country.
Unless you're talking about Portland, Maine.
Portland,
Maine.
Yeah.
All right, we got there.
Jesus.
Well, guys,
Sorry, Maine police.
don't worry. Don't worry
Go eat a couple
because
Twinkies in a boat.
don't worry because when
Drink
they
your
do
Moxie.
when they do transport the crocodile, they're not going to put any protective
No tarp.
Nope.
no
Nothing.
tarp over it at all.
It's just gonna cause accidents all
Can you
across.
imagine?
By the way,
You're commuting to work, and you're like,
to me, that's the better end scene of the
Yes!
movie.
Yeah,
The better
the
end
family.
scene is as a family. Like,
Exactly.
guys, there's no such thing as giant. Ba 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 ba. What the fuck? And then a helicopter shot up. Like that would be a great end.
You would like that more than Betty White to reggae music feeding baby crocodiles?
Why was it that song?
Why was it reggae? Why did that happen in this
By the
movie?
way, I was hoping, I was like, please be prehistoric ducks. I wanted her to be feeding prehistoric ducks because it looked like
was
she was
bread.
Because she looked like
Right,
she was bread and she was
right,
feeding
right.
ducks. I didn't
Bread,
realize it was gonna be baby crocs, and I just wanted to be like, oh shit, the ducks now. There's also crazy ass
So you
ducks.
think she just says, wait a minute. Okay, so June, so what you're saying is that Betty White has access to all prehistoric animals?
I thought that would be the twist.
Does she have a Land of the Lost store?
Well, look, we don't know how that got there. We don't know what's
I would love
going
it if
on.
she was just feeding slee stacks.
It would, to me, be a more interesting ending than just a little.
Oh, there's a million more interesting endings we could come up with.
Because
How
How
about
about
ducks?
Betty White unzipped a zipper and she was a crocodile?
I am in. All right, let's go to the audience and see what they want to talk about. The audience obviously has some research on this dumb movie, this dumb fuck shit movie. All right, you, sir, your name, your title for the film, because Lake Placid is not a good one, and your question.
Okay, my name's Mike. The title is Bears Are Cooler Than Crocodiles. And I was just curious, why does nobody give a shit about the second crocodile that got killed? Like, they made such a big deal to capture
Well,
the
because
other
they
one.
killed it immediately.
It
just
happened so
got
fast,
blasted.
Mike.
It
It happened so
arrived.
fast.
We didn't get invested in its. Yeah.
Mike's a real second
Exactly.
croc guy.
It's almost like it was a dumb thing that they jammed in at the 11th hour of this movie that never should have happened.
Well, to me, the other thing about that was so crazy was they don't even build it up like, wait, how did that crocodile get over there when we were over here? Like, that's not even an element of the movie. Like, he must be moving so fast. And then it's like, oh, there was two all along.
Right.
No,
It's like the
not just one.
Prestige. He's twins. I'm sorry, spoilers for the movie The Prestige.
All right, here we go, sir. Your name, and would this movie be better with Nicolas Cage instead of Bill Pullman? Yes or no?
My name is Ryan, and absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, what's your question? So, it's actually more of an insight. Discussing Brandon Gleeson lines, I wanted to point out that besides the sanitary napkins and the other line, "Are you a mental?" I think the best line was when he's walking to the lake and he says, "I'm not a brain scientist."
Well done.
That's good.
Well done.
That's good.
Scientist.
All right, sir. Your name, your title for Lake Placid, and your question.
My name's Sean. My title would be Lake Placid is in New York, not in Maine. And
long title.
Betty White admits to a murder in the middle of film, and no one seems to even think twice about it.
I think that's because I thought of that too. I think that's because she's trying to throw suspicion off of the crocodile.
Yeah, no, but still,
When she admits to the murder, because I think she thinks, oh, they're gonna find my husband's dead body and think the crocodile did it, so I will admit to the murder.
But I agree with
because
that.
I'm
but
protecting my monster son.
I get all that.
I'll say I bit my husband in half.
Yes.
I get that,
Wait,
but
is
I
that
think
her husband's head?
No.
Whose
That
head?
was
whose head was that?
The other deputy's head.
It was the deputy's head?
Yeah, who was leaning over the. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The thing that I think that he's bringing up, which is more interesting, is no one in the cops don't react to that information. Even if she's covering for the crocodile, like, oh yeah, I guess she killed her husband.
They seem to express mild interest in that fact.
They're a world. Maine is very apathetic. Yeah, sure. But that seemed like an unacceptable kill. Like, well, he was sick and he wanted me to kill him. Yeah. Oh, all right, yeah,
But
sure.
that's kind of like their deal. Like, Bill Pullman's like, well, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, because they even say, like, we'll arrest you for obstructing justice. But I guess, well, she didn't kill anybody, so I guess they couldn't arrest her on anything else. All right, your name, your title, and your question. Here we go.
My name's Erica. My title would be Snappers with a Z. And
I like it.
thank you.
Snappers.
I don't have a question so much as an observation. Throughout the movie, they were always asking, where did this thing come from? Where did it come from? And in the split second when it chomped off the deputy's head, Bridget Fonda was able to somehow get a good enough look at it to see that it had oval-shaped scales. And she looked it up and saw it was like a Asian Pacific crocodile or something. And they kept talking about how it had to cross an ocean. But Asia and the Pacific are on the other side of the country from Maine. So the crocodile ostensibly had to cross both an ocean and an entire land continent.
And the Panama Canal, perhaps.
Do you think he went around the long way?
It walked. It walked.
Well, the crocodile came here looking for the Fountain of Youth.
Oh my God, this movie, more as you unravel it, it becomes no one tried. That's the thing that I think is, I don't think we've ever done a movie where the writing is sort of like, yeah.
Really?
Like,
wait a minute. Okay, hang on.
Yeah.
Really?
You
don't think we've done a movie on this show where the writing is not that great?
No, I'm not saying
You're
that.
saying where there clearly was not any kind of effort made.
Yeah, okay.
That's what I'm saying. No
Because you've done
effort.
plenty of shitty movies where people were trying as hard as they could.
100%. I'm not saying that, like, yeah, there hasn't been bad writing, there hasn't been, but this is like,
This
like,
just
there's
seems,
this, like,
everybody seems apathetic to the entirety of this.
it doesn't even seem like a first draft. It seems like what you wrote, and then you're like, I'll read it back tomorrow, and I'll kind of figure. Like before, it's like a pre-first draft.
It sounds like he was like, David E. Kelley was like, oh, idea for movie. Prehistoric crocodile terrorizes small town in Maine. Sheriff, scientist, fish and wildlife.
We're ready to shoot.
And then first day they were like, okay, so the script is this. And it was just a transcription of that.
Because
written out in yellow legal.
At the end of the day,
no follow through.
This movie is not even scary. Like, I don't even think that there's not even a scare, right? Maybe the opening.
Oh, because here's the deal. Here's the fucking deal. If you don't want to get eaten by the crocodile, it's easy. Don't go near the lake. Because that's the only place it is. It's very remote.
Yeah.
So don't go fucking near the lake.
Yeah.
Put some signs up. Giant crocodile in this lake, bro.
Giant crocodile who never goes on land.
Don't worry.
Don't worry about that.
Don't worry. Put some fences up. It's a fucking big crocodile. So what?
I was just in Florida, and in Florida they have signs like, don't go swimming here, there are alligators. Great, that's all you need. There's a sign. The movie should have been about a sign guy. Gotta make a sign.
How about this?
Tunk, 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 tunk.
How about
that would have
this?
had more of a character arc than anybody else in this movie.
That guy would have been invested. That guy would have been
Small
invested.
town. Here's a movie. Fade in. Small town sign maker. Right? His business is bust because nobody needs new signs. But now there's a giant crocodile in town.
Wait, I got a midpoint.
Signs need to be made.
I got a midpoint, an Act 2 midpoint
Yeah,
twist.
please give me something.
He puts no swimming in this thing because of alligators. Like, no, it's a crocodile. I was like, I gotta go back and make all my signs.
Yep.
Very good, very twisty moment there.
That's a great movie. It's a rags to riches story. It's a croc out of water story.
Then he goes up to Portland.
On fire tonight.
Then he goes up to Portland. He gets word that there's a thing in Portland, and he can put a fence around that.
Yep.
Don't go near that oil tank, crocodile.
Also, he could make a sign that says "oil tank empty and available."
Oh, and also, everywhere there's a sign, there's also tagged on there, "No girls allowed."
Yep. Yep.
But
boys
like,
rule.
Boys
rule.
Rule, of course.
Girls
very
rule.
our gang.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless you've got titties. That's on the sign.
Your name. Your name. One thing that you would have done to make this movie better, and your question.
Okay, my name is Cindy. I don't think you could do anything to make it better. Okay. And
Wow. It's perfect in her eyes.
it's great, or make it worse. I want to know why, after the deputy gets his head bit off, why Bill Pullman has to state, "We're gonna need more deputies." Kind of like, referencing Jaws. We're gonna need a bigger boat. Yeah. But like that's gonna happen.
I like that. We're gonna need more heads to be bitten off.
It's just one of the many clever longhand witticisms written by Mr. Michelle Pfeiffer himself, David E. Kelley.
We're gonna need more deputies. He's just. Why are any of these people together? Why? And you know what? They have enough fucking technology to pull up about Pan-Pacific crocodiles that they could have just taken a picture of that tooth, sent it to Bridget Fonda, and she probably could have told from the picture, yeah, that's a tooth.
Oh, you mean she held the fucking tooth in her hand, Paul? She had the tooth at one point. How come she
And was
tell
able
from
to
that?
say, this is a reptile's tooth. Because she's an expert. And can be like, this is a reptile's tooth. Her job is now done.
Why are they keeping the tooth?
Done.
Why are they keeping the tooth in the morgue next to the dead body? Like, why? Like, oh yeah, we got this guy out too. Yeah, you want? I don't know.
And then they're like, oh, you're not going to want to look at that. You're a girl. And she's like, I can look at a dead body. And then they pull it off, and it's like half of a dude, and she's like, uh-oh.
All right, your name, your title for the film, and your question.
the hubris of woman.
My name is James. I don't have a title, but I think LL Cool J should have been in this film as well.
I'm into it. I'm into it.
This is what we haven't talked about the stupidest part of this movie, which is the cow in the helicopter.
Yeah, absolutely.
That poor thing.
Absolutely.
That poor thing.
Because they say, okay, we gotta lure this crocodile out, and then one of them said, I think Brendan Gleeson, sarcastic, is like, well, what? Like Mrs. Curses a Lot did with the cow, and they're like, come on, we gotta get serious about this, and they're like, okay, let's do that cow thing.
But the way we're gonna do it is not the way that she's been doing it for years. Which is bring a cow to the edge of the water where the crocodile is legit waiting.
By the way,
we're gonna strap a cow to a helicopter and let it lightly dangle its legs in the water like a fucking asshole, so that the crocodile can be like, oh, I hear cow legs. I guess it's fucking dinner time. And of course, guys, I'm here to say, for those of you who haven't watched the movie, it goes wrong.
But it doesn't go so wrong because, thank God, that cow got away at the end. We do see the cow.
That cow gives the only fully committed performance of the entire movie.
The cow was nominated for a Golden Globe.
He lost that year to Roberto Benigni, actually. Sadly, he lost to Roberto Benigni for Life is Beautiful. So, your name, your title, and your question.
My name is Casey, Lake Apathetic.
Ooh, I like that.
In the quick clips that you see the crocodile underwater with its mouth opening, doesn't even look like a crocodile. Like, looks like a hippopotamus or something. Like, before I saw the movie, I didn't know it was a crocodile. And I was hoping it was going to be some, like, weird monster of some kind, but...
You want more? You were unsatisfied that the movie about the giant crocodile was indeed about a crocodile. All right. A valid point. A point that probably we would not have made. So you wanted it to be like a hippopotamus instead.
Or a monster.
What if it just like wore like a gold earring?
How about this though?
And shades.
That's another opportunity for this town in Maine. They could have like a Loch Ness monster situation.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
This is. Why are you screaming at me?
I said it earlier. This
You
is
are
like,
screaming at me.
I am excited by our new business opportunity.
Yes.
The sign maker, by the way, can be very involved in that like tourist attraction. Take the pictures here.
It's perfect.
You're going up to Croc Lake, right, guys? It's a line from the movie. Croc Lake.
All right, sir. Your name, your question. Sorry. Yeah, your name, your title, and your question.
My name is Shane, Lake Pullman.
Ooh.
My question was, first off, it was office or fuck meat, which I think had to be, fuck meat is the craziest line ever. Yeah. But why the choice to have Betty White just cuss like crazy?
What's funnier than an old person doing something that you don't
that's
have
that's
an old
a
person
classic
does?
David E. Kelley thing. He always has one eccentric who like just runs their mouth all the time. What a hot ticket.
Like a five-ish Finkel, right?
Exactly. It's Five-ish Finkel from Boston Public. It's
William Shatner,
Kathy
too.
Bates from Harry's Law. It's William Shatner in Boston. It's the same character. He must have had like a crazy uncle when he was a little boy who just said a lot of inappropriate racist shit, and David loved every minute of it. And he can't stop writing that character.
Well, to
over
me
and over
also,
again.
she's so aggressive. Like, all she needed to be was a little bit like nicer and play like a little bit dumb. Like, oh, I just live on this lake. From moment one, she's like, all right, fuckwads, listen up, you pieces of shit.
Also, their big discovery is made, and I thought I was like, what the fuck is this about? They meet with Betty White. She's like, I killed my husband or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then they leave. Then they get on boats. Then they drive up the river. Then they camp. Then the thing attacks. And then they're in the woods and they're like, well, I'll be damned. And they have set up camp right near Betty White's house.
Yeah.
Where they've already been.
Yeah.
And they watch her feed a cow to the crocodile.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Is that how this is being done? They just coincidentally end up at the same place and see her committing the crime. I hated this movie.
There was also like a weird piece of like movie making stuff too, where they're having that party and it's nighttime, but through the trees.
You mean the Tom Jones party?
Yeah, the Tom Jones party.
That's like, no, it's sexy.
The music in this movie, terrible. Every choice, terrible.
I mean, that being said, it's a great soundtrack. Please buy it.
Well, I was going to describe that there's like, it looks like nighttime, but you can see through the trees that it was daytime. And I don't know if that was just a gaffe or they just couldn't fucking light it, or I don't know.
Or nobody cared.
Yeah, don't give a fuck.
Even the grips were like, fuck it.
Shoot it.
All right, two people next to each other. You're friends, I imagine, right? Who has the better? Yeah, who has the better question? All right, double header, go. Here we go. I don't want to break up a friendship over this, but you can't answer it. Here we go. Question.
My name is Maddie, and I'm.
No, I don't care.
Shut up,
question. Just want to know your question.
Question.
Let me try friend two. Question.
Does anyone think because there was no chemistry between Bill Pullman and Bridget Fonda that the actual romantic arc was between Oliver Platt and Brendan Gleeson?
Yeah, totally.
Ooh, friend two
How's
is winning.
How's that feel, Maddie?
Is your question as good as that?
I know we touched on sequels a little bit, and there are actually 3. But my question is that there's actually supposed to be a crossover that's happening between Anaconda and Lake Placid.
Sure,
and does
why
anyone
not?
know if that came?
Go ahead.
I knew it was announced in 2013, and probably it's probably still in post.
That's a great idea, actually. I mean, I'm on board for that.
Yeah, they're all sci-fi
Maddie, you are
movies.
redeemed.
It costs It cost $35 to make. It made $31.
Yeah.
And they decided to make 3 more.
You know
it
what?
was.
We could probably spend less money if we cared even less.
Now that we've done it, we can use a lot of the same shots of the croc.
We made the croc.
What I love about this is it's Lake Placid 2, Lake Placid 3, Lake Placid the final chapter, and then they announced that Lake Placid versus Anaconda, which is funny because it's Lake Placid versus Anaconda. It's not like Freddy versus Jason.
Elm Street versus Jason.
It's not Croc v. Snake. It's not Croc v. Snake.
Halloween, the holiday versus Freddy Krueger.
I hope John Voight is in that movie.
This is directed by the director of this directed a movie that I really want to do in a live show. We've talked about it a few times. He directed the movie Soul Man.
Oh yeah,
love that movie. Love it. Love that movie.
C. Thomas Howell overdoses on tanning pills and becomes black.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's he did Soul Man.
Totally normal movie.
And then Friday the 13th, 2 and 3, and then Forever Young, that romantic Mel Gibson movie. Real varied career for this director.
I think he also did a lot of episodes of Chicago Hope.
Oh,
and I think that's where he and David I'm assuming hatched the plan on set. Mandy Patinkin was throwing a fit somewhere. And they were like, crocodile movie?
Well, Mandy Patinkin was like in his trailer not coming out. They wrote this in those moments.
9 minutes.
As a joke. Obviously,
he's like, hey, I bet I could write an entire movie on one buck slip. I bet I could write a whole movie on the back of an envelope.
I'm like the Lincoln of screenplays.
Obviously, we had an opinion about this movie, but there are other people out there that had a different opinion. It is now time for Second Opinions.
Second Opinions.
Second Opinions.
Second Opinions.
Right in your face.
These are 5-star reviews pulled from Amazon, and
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This almost seems impossible to me.
By the way, there were a lot.
No!
A lot. More than I was expecting. A lot. And I'm trying to pick my favorite ones here. I will also tell you that this is one of the few movies that I've gotten tweets about on our How Did This Get Made Twitter account, where people are like, how could you do it? It's a funny movie and it works.
Wow.
And you're like, it's a comedy. And I actually started getting like, I was like, did I fuck up? Did I pick a movie that's supposed to be funny and it's and I'm like, no.
You did the opposite. You did the opposite of that.
Yeah, this is not a funny like. No, I am
Don't
in
let
a
them
movie.
get in your head, Paul.
Yeah.
Don't you doubt yourself.
Don't you let those Twitter heads get in your head, bro.
Oh, fucking Twitter heads.
Fucking
You
jerks.
tweet heads.
Classic Twitter heads.
All right, so this is from Dorothy Munoz. And she writes, I had forgotten the exact storyline of Lake Placid.
5 stars.
And
what great movie can you remember the story to?
I've forgotten the storyline. In fact, I'm not sure I've seen it. 5 stars.
By the way, this is all in caps. I had forgotten.
So please read it as shouting.
I had forgotten the exact storyline of Lake Placid. And I think this rendition is a remake. I don't recall Betty White being in my video. I did enjoy it. She's a hoot. I will enjoy singing it again and again as I go through my growing collection. So there's so many 5 stars. There's so many things going on here.
I remember it as being the story of a heroic U.S. Olympic hockey team. Where were they? More crocodiles than I recall.
I put this on because I love the love story between Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock. I don't remember Betty White or the crocodile, but they seemed cute too.
This one also written in all caps from Carrie Walker. This one, I swear I'm not changing these in any way. We love this movieing. Movie with an ing. We love this movieing and get all the moves out on weekends. And we walk the moves. We have all of them. We love movieing and get out all the moves on weekends and walk the...
That's a t-shirt.
And walk the moves.
That's amazing.
We have all that.
I want to read all of that person's other reviews.
You gotta walk the moves.
I gotta walk those moves.
Gotta walk the moves.
Oh, guys, what'd you do last night? Oh, I walked a move. I love moving. I walked a move.
From Danette A. Hara Jr., Danette writes, I like this film so much that I rented it 3 times in 2 months. And since the only Letterboxd releases on DVD, this film made me break down and finally get a DVD player so I can own a copy.
Wow.
That was written in 2000.
There was
Still, DVDs were out.
Movie,
what a world.
No movie before this was good enough to make this person buy a DVD player.
Nope. They're all in now.
Nope. Oh my gosh. Okay. There's 2 more I gotta read. They're so good. Gerhardt wrote, "It got right to the point, and that was a good move." This is one of the year's best films behind Star Wars Episode 1.
Wow.
What a disappointing year.
Did this guy check the date? Did he write it to get it read on this show?
No, I do that. I check that all the time. This was written February 2nd, 2000.
Oh.
It's one of the best of 1999.
One of. I think it was Magnolia and Lake Placid.
This one is from Jash and Jash from Louisiana, all in caps again. I saw this movie in the theater. It was one of the best movies I've ever seen in my entire life. Very scary. You will jump. The plot is great, and the old woman is hilarious. I wouldn't even rent it. Just go and buy it. Amazon.com rules. And don't forget to rent/buy Deep Blue Sea. Wow. It was also an extremely good horror movie. Nothing funny about a shark that tears people up faster than you can blink your eyes. 5 stars.
Jeff Bezos wrote that.
I'll see you in 2015 at Largo. I know the future.
And we don't often do this. We don't read the bad reviews, but there was one that was so bad. It's such a long one. I'm just going to read the last line of it. From RM31D. This is one.
A robot?
The robot.
I guess it should be read in a robot voice.
I believe that you would. My C3PO.
I love that it's C3PO.
Do Darth Vader.
I love that your robot voice of choice is C3PO. Is Anthony Daniels. Robot voice, Anthony Daniels.
Well, I must say.
All right, so this is the best line in this. So I leave you with this request. If someone holds a gun to your head and orders you to watch Lake Placid, let him shoot you. Trust me, it is far more humane than having to sit through this unforgivable and uninhibited romp through cinematic hell. May God have mercy on our souls.
That sounds like something C3PO would say, though.
Oh my gosh. Do we anything else that anyone would like to cover that we have not talked about? Did we get it all out?
We've done a pretty good job.
Yeah.
I don't think that we even have to go around and ask people if they would recommend this movie to watch. I think the answer is pretty apparent, yes.
Yeah, there's really nothing in it that's even fun bad. It's just, and
Yeah.
I think it's also because it tried so hard to be, well, it didn't try so hard, but it thought it was so funny, and it was, that takes it to a different horrible place. There's something about earnestness when it's not good.
Yeah.
You can still find some enjoyment in that, but when somebody's trying to be funny and they're not, it's like, that makes me understand heckling. right? Like, because heckling comes out of a weird anger that people have when they see someone on stage that is not their sense of humor, and they're like, this is driving me crazy. I gotta ruin this. And they yell something out.
They don't think that. I think they think, this is driving me crazy. I've gotta fix this.
I think it's a 50-50.
Yeah, maybe.
So I understand that feeling of like when somebody thinks they're being funny and they're so not being funny, it's maddening.
When Oliver Platt gave that speech about how when he was a kid and when he was trying to sympathize with Brendan Gleeson about how his deputy had his head bit off, and he said, I had a dream when I was a child, that whole run, which was for laughs, I stopped it. I stopped the movie and like took a walk around my house to try to like... That made me really, really mad.
There is a lot in this movie because I will say, this movie is full of legitimately terrific actors.
Yes.
This is a cast that is very, solid actors.
But beyond capable and great in other movies.
Absolutely.
Consistently.
Where I was like, I feel so bad for these people. I feel so bad for Brendan Gleeson right now because what a tremendous actor he is. And he must be miserable.
But he knew, he accepted the job. He knew he knew what he was getting into. He read the script and was like, yes, I will go to Maine.
But I have a feeling they were like, it's David Kelley. Yeah. He's so hot right now. He's going to totally revamp what the horror genre is. He's going to have fun with it. We're really poking fun. And everyone's like, yeah. And then they all got the script and like, wait, what?
Is this a legal pad?
Yeah.
So I just want to make...
I can't read this.
And everyone got a different legal pad. Everyone's in a different movie.
He wrote the movie 15 times for everyone who was in the movie.
And that's why it's so scatterbrained. That's why Brendan Gleeson's is like, mine says, I think you are a mental.
Does yours say that?
And Kelly's like, I don't know.
Mine doesn't
I've been
say
up
that.
writing for 5 days.
There's a coffee ring on this, so I'm just going to take my best guess.
One of the taglines for the movie was...
Who cares? Lake Placid, who cares? Lake Placid, why bother?
Lake Placid, are you bad with money?
Lake Placid, no, not that Lake Placid. A fictional Lake Placid.
Lake Placid.
Lake Placid, I wouldn't either. From the creator of Ally McBeal.
Lake Placid.
Lake Placid.
Finally, a horror movie that's not scary or interesting.
Lake Placid, we're getting granite countertops.
Lake Placid, it's a movie, but not as long as a movie. Paul, you have a brand new podcast coming out on Earwolf on April 1st.
That is correct.
And now you have can you tell us any of the people that are coming up in it or anything like that, or tell us a little bit about the show?
It's called Spontaneation, and it's an improv podcast. Everything that happens on the show is completely in the moment. Nothing is prepared. I improvise a monologue at the top of the show, like I did on the Pod F Tompcast, my previous podcast. I have an interview with a guest that's inspired by a blind question that's provided from the previous guest. And then
From a blind person?
From a blind person. Always from a blind person.
Right?
Always from a blind person.
They've got questions too.
Now, Paul, the one request that we have gotten here on the show numerous times, and I feel like we should do it. We've never done it before, but people really would like you to come on the podcast one time as Werner Herzog, and we would do a maybe like Bad Lieutenant 2 Port of Call.
That movie is amazing.
I think it is amazing too.
Love that movie.
That movie is fantastic, and I would do it in 1 second.
Yeah.
Ooh, while we are talking about movies, we should definitely do that movie, and I think we should definitely do that. We should do it as maybe a live show. The question that we should ask all the time, because I get this all the time, is Face Off. Now, you don't want us to do Face Off.
No, I will yield. We can do Face Off.
All right.
I will just argue my point that it's a terrific movie.
Just just the way Evan Goldberg feels about Deep Blue Sea.
Exactly.
Now, Nate, you have a great podcast right now, which is over on the Wolf Pop Network there.
Yes, called Reading Aloud. It's like a reading series. I have actors and comedians come in and read comedy essays and then like sort of dramatic essays as well. And there's an interview section where I talk to actors and sort of people of note, musicians, about their reading habits and their writing habits and their sort of like creative process. But we've had great guests so far. Amy Mann was on the first episode, was wonderful.
It's a great podcast because it gets some of your reading done for you guys. You pick these fantastic pieces, and they're varied. There's comedy pieces, there's dramatic pieces, and it's fucking great.
Paul's been really generous too, because I have this monthly book club where you read a book and then you listen to. I have 3 or 4 friends sit down and talk for an hour about the book, whether we liked it or not. And Paul's done 2 of those, which were really fun.
I feel like that's the best thing too, because you can join a book then there's no pressure of the book club. You can be like, I'll listen to that podcast when I finally get to it. You don't have to be like that pressure of like where everyone is in a book club is like, yeah, I'm in a book club, and then like 2 days before, like fuck, and like cramming it, and then you get there and you talk about the book for 5 minutes, and then it's like, oh, what did Sally wear? Oh, did you see Lake Placid? Oh, I loved it. It was like
more Chardonnay, please.
Well, and so that's...
I do have a Chardonnay podcast that I do want to plug.
So definitely check out Reading Aloud. Jason, what do you want to talk about?
You're right.
You want to plug Shardcast?
I got to plug my Shardcast. Where it's me and a couple of friends. We sit around with a bunch of Chardonnays. We get into them.
And what are you finding in the shard? Like what kind of shard do you like? Like what kind of shard do you like?
Oh, something light and crisp.
Do you like buttery?
Buttery, oh yeah. With like tannins. Like some oaky flavor, oaky, earthy. You could be blueberries.
Now
tannins.
you're the youngest person on the podcast, right?
Yeah. It's me and 4 old women.
Divorcees, right?
Divorcees. They're gilfs. I was gonna call it the Gilf Cast. I'm just.
And you're doing a live show in Woodstock, New York, right?
Yep.
In an old converted barn.
Yep. Woodstock, New York, Nantucket. We're doing a whole
Ojai. You have one in Ojai.
Yep. Where we just do a bunch of yoga, we drink a bunch of Chardonnay, everybody gets fingered. It's great. I'll plug. I'm on this season Community. I did a Community. So that's going to be on Yahoo soon. So please watch that.
And I am on currently right now on the show called Fresh Off the Boat on ABC, which is a super funny show, I think. And you can follow us at at HDTGM on Twitter. That's where you get all the updates. All right, thank you guys so much for coming out to Largo tonight. Give it up to Avril, Hallie, Nate, Kelley, July, Diaz, everybody here at Largo. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Bye-bye.